everybody, a couple quick announcements and then I'm going to go into how to change your BJD's eyes tutorial. So, stay tuned! Hey guys, okay, quick announcement before I begin the tutorial. Setsucon 2011, January 29th and the 30th is coming up. It's right around the corner. And you guys will recall that I signed up for a panel and didn't get the panel slot, which I was not really that upset about, but it was kind of disappointing in a way. You guys know I'm in the host auction, but I need to tell you guys, my friend contacted me last night and told me that the reason I didn't get the panel is because I personally didn't pre-register for the convention. And he said there's a panel slot opening, and he wants to know if I want it. And I had to let them know by Sunday, and today is Friday. So, I may be having a panel at Setsucon 2011. Regardless, I'm still going to be in the host auction, I think, unless the times cross. But I don't think they would do that. So yeah, that's my big announcement. So if you guys weren't planning on going to Setsucon, you probably should plan on going now because I would have a panel. It'll be dance tutorials, of course, and you see, I would have been thinking about this the whole time since I submit the application. Like, they would get back to you on December 1st, normally, and tell you if you got the panel or not. But I didn't get the email, so I was like, okay, I don't have to worry about that. And then my friend was like, oh, by the way, Deanna, you just didn't get the panel because you didn't pre-reg for the con. Do you still want that panel? And it's like 2 weeks away, so I'm kind of freaking out internally right now. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if I can own up to it. A lot of people are telling me it will be good for everything, like good for my channel and whatever else, but I don't know if it's worth all the hassle and the nerve-wrackingness, so we will see. We will see. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so the first doll we're going to start out with is my Volk Charlotte Yumi. And her eyes are still actually hot glued in. I haven't taken them out yet. I'm not going to do it on video. I'm not going to take them out on video because it takes a little bit to let everything soak, and I'll get to that later. But so Yumi is a Volk's limited doll, but I'm almost positive that all Volk's dolls will come to you with their eyes hot glued in. So if you ever want to change your doll's eyes, you're going to need to know how to get that hot glue out, or just in general, people have been asking me how the eyes in BJDs work. Okay, so what you start with your doll, and Yumi's kind of complicated. Her head cap doesn't like to cooperate, so we'll see if it will come off. But this upper part right here of a BJD is called the head cap, and it can be magnetic, which is most common now, I think, for BJDs. Volks used to do where it would be a rubber band looped inside with the S-hook, and I'll show you how that is. But Yumi's head cap has a little kind of hook thing, a kind of thing that goes in there too, and it has a magnet. So her head cap will never come off, basically. Okay, so from here, inside of a BJD's head, that's a mouthful, you can see the S-hook and the string that is basically, it's wired through your entire doll. That string, that's right there. And you can see Yumi's eyes are still hot glued in. It just has, it depends on the doll, because I know Hachiko's eyes were like covered in hot glue, which was really annoying. But Yumi's eyes aren't that bad. They just got a thin layer of hot glue kind of wrapped around the outer edges of the glass eyes. So what you're going to need to take these out is this stuff. I got this from Volks. Now, I'm sure there's something at a department store or something you can buy along these lines, but I wanted to play it safe. Anything I use on my dolls, I normally like to get from a company that's, you know that it's going to be okay to use on your dolls, and it's dolly safe. This was only $2, and you get a nice big bottle of it. It's enamel paint thinner. It's like enamel thinner, basically. And what you do is you take a cotton swab, and you dip it in the enamel thinner, and you run it along the hot glue of your doll's eyes. Now, you're going to want to make this a slow process because the thinner can mess up the doll's face up. So you're going to want to be patient, and you're going to want to let it sit and soak through the hot glue. So once you think you've got a decent amount on there, but not enough to soak through onto your doll's face up, you're going to want to get a blunt metal tool. I use this. I got it in for Christmas with like this little like set my mom gave me. Had like nail clippers and whatever else. But I used this side and I used this side, and just kind of work your way around the hot glue. So, and then until basically you'll feel it. You'll feel the thinner going in there, and you'll be able to feel your tool going inside the hot glue, and eventually they'll just pop right out for you. So yes, that's how you get rid of the hot glue, and then you'll be able to change your doll's eyes, and it'll be wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to demonstrate how to just change doll's eyes in general. And for that, Aiko is here to assist me. Alright, one thing about dolls is there's a lot of tips and tricks that you can do, and it really depends on the doll owner. Aiko and I have always gotten along really well when it comes to changing and doing different things. She cooperates a lot, as opposed to Yumi, who might just be because she's new, but she's really stubborn when it comes to anything, like changing her eyes or putting on outfits. Just, she'll like kick or like, just very difficult. Okay, so if you want to change your BJD's eyes, first you want to start out, you have to take off their wig. So, wig is off. And now we will take off Aiko's head cap. And her head cap is only magnetic, so it comes off fairly easily. Aiko is wearing, I believe these are 18 millimeters. These are Volks Bianca's default glass eyes. And these are her eyes that she always wears, but we will be changing them with some Lake World eyes. These are like my favorite pair of eyes that I own, besides the ones Aiko is currently wearing. You will need doll eye putty, which I keep in this little sealed bag. It is possible for doll eye putty to dry out. This is actually a little bit more dry than when I originally bought it. So you want to keep your putty in a sealed bag. And I mean, it's basically like a sort of Play-Doh texture. I mean, it's the one thing about, I've never seen or heard this anywhere else, but I have this phobia because the putty's a little bit greasy. I have this phobia of getting the grease on my doll's face-ups, so I try to not handle the putty too much and then touch their face-ups. So, yeah. Okay, so you can see Aiko's eyes are in there with the putty right now. It's just basically, I've seen doll owners, you know, fill the putty up to like the S-hook area. But what I do is just kind of make it around the eyes like the hot glue was in for Yumi. And I just fill it in around the eyes. And yeah, so now we have to take her eyes out. So using the middle tool that you have, you kind of just have to get underneath. Let's see if I can show you this. Oh, you know what would be easier? I meant to show you guys this. I'm sorry, I forgot. How to take off your doll's head. This will be helpful. When you're changing your doll's eyes, you want to take a ribbon. Some people use pliers. I used to use pliers, and then I got scared of pliers because I almost hurt myself once with them. So you just want to take your doll and loop this ribbon through the S-hook like this, and you want to pull up and turn the doll's head, and the doll's head is off. So now you can see inside I've already started to work on the putty a little bit. So, this is difficult. So you just want to kind of work your way around the putty, and the eyes, you know, they're going to come right out because the putty's not permanent. It's hard to do this while like looking at the camera. Okay, so I'm getting in there and getting out the eyes. I'm getting out all the excess putty. There you have it. Okay. So now we have Aiko with no eyes, and now we're ready to change them. So, before you put in the other eyes, you probably want to look at the position of how you want to put the eye in the doll. Aiko's eyes are normally a little bit up, like looking upwards a little bit. I think that's how she looks the cutest, but I mean, you can angle the eyes however you want. It's your preference. I mean, a lot of dolls can look to the side, and they can look down. I mean, it's whatever you guys want. Okay, so how I do this, let's put Aiko right there for now. I take a piece of putty like this and sort of just roll it out, make like a snake sort of shape, and I roll it around the eye, like this. So it kind of makes, I don't know what this would be, makes just a circle, a thin circle of putty around the eye. So I use the thinnest layer to put, like, where it's the clay is the thinnest, which would be, if you're looking at it, would be at the top right here. And I use that as the bottom of the eye. If you put too much putty on, it can go through the eye opening, which, I mean, won't hurt your doll necessarily at all, but it just doesn't look as realistic. So there's a couple times where I normally have to redo the putty appliement. So now I'm just sort of pushing the putty in and pushing Aiko's eyes in, and I'm adjusting them to where I want them to be. And depending on how you want to position them is probably where you're going to want to put more putty. Since I want Aiko to be looking upwards, I'm going to want to put a little bit more base putty around the bottom of her eye, so the eye will stay positioned upwards. So I put a little bit more down here. Okay, so there's one. And now the same process on the other eye. So we take our glass eye, our eye, whatever it's made out of. We take our putty, round from the old eyes normally. We shape it into a snake like that. Wrap it around the eye. The thinnest part goes on the bottom. Make sure you don't have any putty sticking through. Now, I'm a real big stickler when it comes to eyes being even. So I probably won't get them completely even right now on camera for you because that might take a little bit. I actually had a doll whose eyes, no matter what I did, would not be even, and I actually sold her because I just couldn't deal with it. And I tried multiple pairs of eyes on her, and it wasn't the eyes I was using. It was just something about the mold was making it look off. So I'm kind of OCD when it comes to the pupils of the eyes and everything just being aligned. Like, it really bothers me when I see doll photos and the one eye's going this way and the other one's going that way. Okay, well, for now, here's Aiko. You can see her eyes are different, and she is raring to go. So, now, we want to put the head back on the doll body since we've already fiddled with what we want to fiddle with. Okay, so for this, we're going to need to prop up the doll body again and place Aiko's head so that the strings and the S-hook and everything are inside of her head. Take your ribbon and place it through the S-hook like this. You want to pull up again, and you want to put the S-hook back in that little slot where it came from. There's a little, like, now.